First of all, why are we having this live event? Why are we here? It's because over the course of the last 3 to 4 months on my videos, I've consistently been getting the same question. How do I start remote work? How do I start applying? Which one is the best remote work that I can apply to? All these questions have been coming and I've been trying to address it individually. But I realized that I can't address everybody's question. Otherwise, I won't have any other thing to do. I'll abandon my business completely to be answering questions on YouTube. So I decided to have this live session so that through this live session, we can have a live interaction. Ask me your questions and let's answer it live on the platform right now so that you can get real-time solution to some of your remote work challenges. That's why we're here. That's why you're here. So get your writing materials ready. Prepare to have a bumper, in fact, a time of your life as long as remote work is concerned. Thank you so much, Career Clinics. I can see you in the chat. I can also see you, Rehoboth. Thank you so much. Oh, use your this to log in. Thank you so much, guys. Now, as I said earlier, this is a response to a continuous question that we've always been getting on our videos. And we decided I can't do this on a work day, so this is the most comfortable time for us to do it. Who is this live session for? Who is this live session for? Number one, if you're thinking of entering remote work, but you don't exactly know where to start or how to start, this live session is for you. If you've been applying to jobs before now and you haven't gotten any response, it's like you are sending applications to a void. No response, no interview call-ups. This live session is equally for you. Because in this live session, we are going to be breaking down things that you ought to be doing, common mistakes that we make as remote workers and as beginners pursuing remote work career. And also, if you are an experienced remote worker, we would also like you to be here because we would like to share your experiences. Through the comment section, send us your experiences. Send us what you think, your recommendations for beginners especially as they embark on this journey of remote work. That is what this session is about. I don't know how long it's going to last. It depends on your questions, but I'll try as much as possible to answer all your questions as they come. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. All right. Many of you already know me, but in case you don't know who I am, my name is Austin Chisom, and I'm a career and leadership coach. Before going into full-time career and leadership coaching, I've worked in corporate world for 10 plus years. I started my career actually as a safety officer, and even before then, I was given my first corporate opportunity by Dr. Mike Iwebu. Shout out to Dr. Mike. You are an amazing person. He gave me my first opportunity and my first taste of corporate life as a marketer at Global Gas Industries Limited. And I had a wonderful experience there. I met my first challenges in corporate world there. And I started learning how to solve problems from that place. So it was a wonderful experience. I moved on from there after my youth service as a safety officer, then promoted to a safety supervisor, and then promoted to a project manager. I worked as a project manager for several multinational companies until in 2020, I decided to go full-time into coaching. This is what actually happened. While I was project managing, many people have been telling me that my teams tend to get better over time In other words, it looks like I delve more into human capital development, not just delivering on the work, but making sure that the person who delivers the work becomes better at the end of the day. I wasn't surprised because I've always been passionate about building people, seeing people live out their full potential. That's what I do effortlessly. You know, I remember some years back, one of my brothers, uh, Mr. Ikem, Mr. I don't know if he's a doctor now, Mr. Ikem, he told me you are a motivational speaker, you're a human capital development expert. I was like, what is he talking about? I just wanted to work in the oil and gas industry. Of course, I did. But in the course of time, it became clear to me that this is what I really loved. And then when COVID hit in 2020, I saw it as an opportunity and I went in all in into coaching and I've never looked back since then. What am I saying? What I'm about to show you right now in the next few minutes is not something that was read in a book. It's something that I have lived, and what I'm still living is an experience that I've had, first of all, as a professional, and then what I'm continuously living through my company, Career Clinics Limited, right now. By God's grace, I work with Career Clinics as a CEO, and we have an amazing team. These guys are awesome. They are doing great and wonderful things, ensuring that people get results when they come for solutions, when they come to us for solutions. So what I'm about to tell you is not something I read in a book or something I went and did a course for. No. What I'm about to tell you is a lived experience and something I continuously do every single day. So, as I said earlier, let me know in the comments, what stage of remote work are you in right now? Which stage of remote work are you in right now? Are you a beginner? If you're a beginner, type it in the chats. Tell me beginner. Are you intermediate? You've gotten some remote work before now? If you're already applying, let me know in the comments. Applying, or I've already done some jobs, but I'm finding it difficult. Let me know in the comment. Let me know in the chat right now. And as you are joining us, I can see some people joining. As you're joining us, let us know where you're joining us from. Let's know where you're joining us from. And let's know your peculiar challenges. As I get into it, if you have any questions, drop it in the comments. And my team will harvest it. And we'll try as much as possible to answer every single question before we leave here tonight. Every single question before we leave here tonight. Thank you. I can see you, Johnson. Thank you for joining us. He said you're a beginner from Liberia, all the way from Liberia. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you, Johnson, for joining us today. We have already spent 15 minutes. I want to get into this because I'm not a time waster. I like to utilize my time very well. What you're going to take away from after this session, after this workshop, is one, if you are just a beginner, just like Johnson said, and some of my guys in Career Clinics, if you're a beginner, you're going to know exactly the next steps to take. Once this workshop is over, you will know what will be my next steps in terms of my career, my remote work journey. And if you're somebody that is stuck already, as we are interacting, you're going to find out these are some of the things that I've been doing wrong. And as you go back, you correct it. So you're going to walk out of this workshop with clarity. Clarity on what you have been doing wrong. And then what you're going to be doing right after now. That's what it's all about. Now, let's get into it properly. Also, as you're joining us, let us know. I can see some people joining. Let us know where you're joining us from. Let us know the level of remote work that you're in. Someone asked me some months back. In fact, that question, I haven't been able to forget it because it's one of the things that triggered this live event. She asked, After seeing all of the remote works that I listed, she asked me in the video on YouTube here that which of these remote works is selling fast now, or which one can I do quickly to give me money now. I didn't understand where she was coming from, but my response was what I'm going to start from right now. Many of us are having issues and difficulties in our remote work journey, not because we are not qualified, no, but because you're chasing the wrong job. I want to say that again. Because you're chasing the wrong job. Many of us, we chase trends. Everybody is doing it, so I should do it too. I look around me, all my friends, they are all virtual assistants. I should go and learn how to be a virtual assistant too. That's the beginning of struggling in remote work. This is what I mean. Because if you chase trends like that, or you make decisions like that, you might get into trouble because those jobs you are going for is probably not aligned to who you really are. This is what I mean. Some of us, we make decisions based on the economy. The economy is so bad, and so you make hasty decisions. Let me quickly get into data management. I hear it's what is selling right now. Let me quickly get into cyber security. I know that's what's working right now. No. Don't make your remote work decisions that way. This is the reason. Because if success, not just in remote work, but in anything that you're doing, success begins from alignment. This is what I mean. If you become a VA, because many of your friends are VAs, this is what is going to happen. If you're not an organized person, you will struggle in that role. Because that role primarily demands that you are organized. You pay attention to details. I mean, practically paying attention to details, not the one that we write in CV sometimes. I pay attention to details, not that. You are a meticulous person. You can look at systems and you see disarrangement. You see annulment. You see disaster. That is the kind of personality trait that you ought to have before delving into a remote work like virtual assistant. So, first question I will need to ask you before making your remote work decision, especially if you are a beginner, like many of us here, especially if you're a beginner, is what are your peculiar skills, characters? What are your personality traits? Because not every personality trait is fitted for some roles. I just told you about virtual assistants. If you're not a meticulous person, if you're not an analytical person, it will be a wrong decision delving into data analytics. You want to become a data analyst because you heard that is one of the things that are moving in the market right now. But you're not meticulous. You are not analytical in your thinking process. You can't look at a number. You don't like mathematics, in fact. You can't relate with numbers. That's what that role is about. So, first, success begins with assessing your personality traits, your character. Which kind of person am I? What are my strengths? What are my strong points? That's where success starts from. What are my strong points? What are my weaknesses? That's number one. The second part of it is assess your skills. Which skills do you have right now? Not the ones that you're going to learn. Definitely you're going to learn skills, but I mean, which skills do you have right now at this moment? Assess your skills. Assess the things that you have. Do you know how to use Excel if you're trying to delve into data management? Do you know how to use Tableau? Can you design on Canva for social media managers? So access your skills. Do a skill audit so that you know the gaps that you have and then how to check into those gaps, how to close those gaps. Because success is a combination of your character traits and then your skills. So do a character audit, do a skills audit. Those two are very important. Now you begin to get clarity. First, the third question you need to ask yourself is, what are my experiences? What experience do I have? What have you done before now? What have you done before now? Maybe you're a project manager. I have some people are project managers for 2 years, 3 years. You are working in a company. Now you want to transfer it as a remote worker. Transfer your experience. Which experiences do you have that you can easily transfer into remote work? So you're not learning the skills, you're just transferring platforms from online work to remote work. So you have 3 audits to do. First of all, character traits. Second, your skill audit. Third, your experience audits. When you have these 3 things put together, the third thing that you have to ask is, which remote job will best fit into these things that I have? I'm a meticulous person. I pay attention to details. I do these things naturally. That's who I am. Then I can use social media platforms. I'm familiar with it. I can use Canva. I can use Google Spreadsheets. I have experience in secretarial studies. These things come together to give you what you need to become an efficient virtual assistant in the market. An efficient virtual assistant in the market. So once you do these audits, the next question you need to ask yourself is, which remote work, which remote role fits perfectly into these skills, character traits, and experience that I have? That's where success starts from. Because for many of us, you're just spraying your CV, applying here and there, applying here and there. No. You're going to get a job, yes. Can you imagine this? Can you imagine this? Think about this for a moment. This is a scattered person, somebody who doesn't pay attention to details. And now you went to learn how to become a VA. You've gone to the VA Academy and you've learned Google Workspace. You've learned all of these tools. And you got your first job as a virtual assistant. A CEO gives you a task and forgets about it and goes away. He expects that you are a meticulous person, an organized person. So once he comes back, he wants to see an organized work. But when he comes back, he sees the work more scattered than he gave it to you. That's problem. You are shooting yourself in the foot even before your career took off. That's why this audit is very important. So you don't just rush into applying for roles that is not aligned to who you are. That's the first important point. If you miss this point, you are likely going to struggle, not just in remote work, but in anything that you're doing. That's a fact. Alignment is so important. That's why I'm spending so much time to talk on it. Alignment is so important, so critical. So once you've identified your strengths, your skills, and your experiences, the next thing that you have to do is, which roles align to these skills, to these experiences, and to my character traits? Once you identify it, the next step is, which gaps do I need to close? Remember, you might know how to use some tools, but there might be other tools that are also trending in the industry, that are commonly used in the industry, which you don't know. What are the gaps that you need to close? You're a data analyst. Yes, you are conversant with data spreadsheets on Excel. Can you use Tableau? Are there other tools that industry uses that you don't know about? Find out, research about it. Ask other people, network with other people that are in that field. Ask them, what do I know? What do I need rather to get started? So do a skill audit again. This is after making your decision that this is the remote work I want to get into. Do a skill audit. What are the things that I will need? You are listing them one after the other. Then you begin to draw out your plan. As I'm talking, if you have any question, please drop it in the comment section. We are going to come back to it much later. So after you do this skill audit, you now know these are the things that I need to properly start. For some of these roles, you need some certification. For some of the roles, you need certification. For instance, like a certification, maybe not a certification from PMI, probably just doing a course, a Coursera course on project management to give you an overview of what the course is about. If you are a beginner, to give you an overview of what it's about. So find out, there are so many free courses, especially on Coursera. Find out, do you have free courses on data management? Google it. You will see free courses on Coursera and other platforms that you can go to. Virtualacademy.com, there are so many of them. These courses are free. Get in there, close the gap, learn what it needs, what it takes to be successful in that role that you're choosing. This is very important because it's not just about getting the job, it's excelling when you get the job. Of course, you're going to get the job. As long as you are applying, you will get the job. The question is, what happens after you've gotten the job? So that's why closing the skill gap is so important. The things that you need and the things that you're currently lacking, learn about them. Once you're done learning about them, it's now time to actually start the process of being a remote worker. And I'm going to break it down into 4 different parts. 4 different parts. I will try to do this within 30 minutes so that we can wrap this up quickly. Into 4 different parts. Before I get into that, let me know if you have any questions so far. If you have any questions so far, let me know. Type it in the comments and we'll try to answer it. Now, you've done a skill audit, you've done a personality audit, you've decided that I want to become a virtual assistant, I want to become a social media manager, I want to become a data analyst, whatever it is. And you've started closing the skill gap. You've started learning how to become that thing. You've started learning some tools that are needed to be successful in that industry. The next thing you need to do is, in the process of learning, that's why I said it's important to get to free courses. Because in these free courses, you are going to be tutored by experienced professionals, people who have done that job for years. They know the loopholes in those jobs. They will tutor you. In the process, you are going to be learning so many things, the loopholes, the mistakes that they made over the years, so that you don't make that same mistake as you venture into your remote work career. That's why it's important. So don't just stay on YouTube learning tutorials, watching videos. Those ones have their place, but getting to learn proper courses on platforms like Coursera, on platforms like virtualacademy.pro, it's so important. Also, you get to network with other people. You get to network with other individuals, other professionals in that role. You get to network with other individuals, other professionals in that role. That's so important. Now, as you're doing all of that, document your process. Document your process. Remember, I talked about going on an academy, learning a course. The importance of this is this. You are going to be doing projects. You are going to be doing assignments, worksheets. Those projects, document them. They are going to find relevance when you start your application process. Document them. Let there be a trail of your learning process. They gave you a project. As part of this learning, document that project. You are documenting them because you need proof when you start your application process. Remember, this is remote work. This is remote work. And in this remote work, you are dealing with people who primarily don't know who you are. They are probably meeting you for the first time. They are meeting you for the first time. They don't know you. Think about this. You are a CEO in a company, and then someone comes and says that, I'm a virtual assistant. I can do this job. I can do that job. I can do this job. What will be your first response? Is it not, show me proof? Yes, show me proof. Because first of all, you are going to be paying the person. And you're not going to be paying the person for your personal salary. You're going to be paying the person from the company account. You want to be accountable that this money that you're removing, that you're actually exchanging it, you are going to exchange it for value. So you're employing somebody who knows what he's doing. So the first question they are going to ask primarily is, show me proof. What is the evidence that you can do this job? That's where many people fail. Because in your CV, you just spray CV all around. No proof. No evidence to show that I can do this work. Remember, this person don't know you. They haven't met you before. And you need to quickly build trust. Business transactions like this is based on trust. And the fastest way to build trust is to show proof. It's to show proof. So, as you're learning these courses, document your process. Show proof. You are given a project to do. Don't play with it. That project is part of your proof. You are given a prototype to design. As a project manager, don't joke with it. It will form part of your proof. It will form part of your portfolio. So, as you're learning, document your process as proof. What are some of the things that you can use as proof? You can use your portfolio. Do you know many remote workers, they don't have portfolios? There is no place on the internet where you can tell a client, this is a sample of the work that I've done. It doesn't matter whether you did those work with clients or you did them when you were learning in the course. That's why I say it's important to document your process. Don't throw them away. Document them and then put them in maybe GitHub. If you're a designer, put them in GitHub. If you're a coach like me, you can have it in a document format as part of your portfolio. So have a portfolio. For designers, you're a graphics designer, have a documented something where somebody can look at and say, this is what this guy can do. Proof of work, of things that you have done before, designs that you have done before. Listen, if you don't have a client right now, you're a beginner, that's not a problem. Do designs for yourself. Do designs for yourself. Look at companies. Look at company logos. Look at company banners. Do designs. They mustn't pay you. Do designs and document them so that when you are asked, you said you are a graphics designer. Is there anything I can see? Which proof do you have? You can show. You have something to show. You won't be scrambling. That's how trust is built quickly. That's how trust is built quickly. Excuse me. No. Go on. Is it fun? My daughter is disturbing me. Daddies and their daughters. Sorry about that. So, have That's so important. Now, once you get this proof, you are ready to start applying. One of the questions I constantly get is, Austin, I've not done any job for anybody. How do I get proof? I've not done anything for anybody. How do I get proof? This is how you get proof. I've just told you one. As you're learning that free course or even a paid course, because this is a career that you're building, you should be able to invest in it. If you have the financial capacity, invest in it. Pay for the course. Pay for it. Once you've done all of that, the next thing you need to do is document those things. That's how you get clients. That's how you get clients. So I haven't worked with a client before. I'm just starting. All of that doesn't apply. You've already documented your process when you were learning. If you didn't document anything, you can even go a step further to offer to do free work for companies in your locality. Offer to do free work. Reach out to people, maybe on LinkedIn, maybe on Facebook. As a professional, there are so many companies on LinkedIn. Reach out to founders, startup founders, offer free services. I have so many people reaching out to me for free services. They want to do an intern at career clinics so that they can use it and build their portfolio. That's a process. That's a process. This is what that is going to do for you. If that CEO gives you that opportunity, you're going to be working. First of all, you are building your portfolio in that place. Number two, you're gaining valuable work experience. For some of us, you say, they are not going to pay me, so let me just do the work anyhow. You're shooting yourself in the foot. Do the work as excellently as though they are paying you, because everything that you're going to be learning while doing the work, you're still going to use it when you get paid clients. So if you play with it, you're playing with your own competence. You're playing with your own competence. Do it to the best of your ability, even though it's a voluntary work. As you're doing it, you're gathering testimonials and you're building valuable network. There are people in that company, you already know them. They know you. Once your internship is over, if an opportunity comes up, they're likely going to call you if you maintain good relationships. So you're not just working for free. You're working to build relationship. You're working to get testimonial. You're working to get proof. These are the ways that you can get proof as a beginner. As a beginner. Once you have those proofs, the next thing is to start applying. Now, this thing is step by step. Remember where I started from. I said, first of all, do a skill audit, do a personality audit, do a skill audit, and then do an experience audit. Who am I? What are my strengths as a person? What skills do I have right now? What can I do right now? Which tools can I use? Which apps can I use? As a social media manager, as someone who wants to go into social media management, am I comfortable using LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok? How often do I stay on those platforms? How often have I mastered those? Those are questions that you need to ask. Then you do an experience audit. Once you've done all of that, close all the gaps, get into a course, whether it's a free course or a paid course. As you're learning the course, document your process. Document what you're doing, your projects, your take home. Document all of that. As you come out, you want to build more testimonials. Offer to do free work. As a social media manager, you can show proof by building your own account. In fact, there is no bigger proof as a social media manager than to build your own account. When you tell somebody you can do this work, Go back to my Facebook page. Go back to my LinkedIn profile. I have 20,000 followers. I have 10,000 subscribers. That is proof that you can do the work. That's for social media managers. So get across to CEOs, startup founders, offer free work, build testimonial, build valuable networks, then start applying. Application should be your next stage. Application should be your next stage. But this is where application becomes successful. This is what I see most of the time. I want to become a data analyst. You are just spraying your CV everywhere. No. That's why you're not getting callbacks. That's why you're not getting interview call-ups. No. You can't be spraying your CV everywhere and just hope that somebody calls you. You're better than that. You're better than that. You can do better. Positioning is the most important thing in job search. I'll say that again. Your positioning is the most important thing you can do in any job search. What do I mean by positioning? First of all, your CV. Many of us, our CVs are generic. By the way, I have a playlist on my channel. It's called Remote Work. Inside that playlist is like your university for anything remote work. From how to arrange your CV to go through ATS, how to position yourself as a remote worker, how to become excellent in your job as a remote worker, that it transforms from just remote working to retainership. Because for me, the ultimate of remote work is retainership. You have done the job and this company says, no, I can't let this guy go, he's so good, and they retain you. I've been working with a US company since 2023. 2023, training C-suite executives on leadership and team building. That's consistent revenue. That is the end part of remote working. That means you're building a sustainable business from your remote work, not just a one-off work. So excellence is number one. So let's get back to job application. CVs, your CV. Your positioning in your CV is so important. Starting from your summary. You see that summary, that executive summary, or that experience summary at the top of your CV, that will determine if the recruiter continues to read or not. For many of us, it's so generic. I am a detailed-oriented professional. I pay attention to details and I can do great work. That is your professional summary. You can do better than that. That's generic. That's something that looks like something that a ChatGPT will write. No. Be more specific. What do I mean? Result-oriented. Be result-oriented. What do I mean by result-oriented? What have you achieved in your previous workplaces? What have you achieved at all? Which projects have you built? What results have they gotten for those companies? That is your executive summary. As a project manager, I have closed out projects of $50 million, bringing revenue of up to 50 million annual revenue turnover to the company. That is result. That is result-oriented executive summary. So think result, think outcomes, not tax. So when you think tax-based, this is what you write. I am a project manager. I oversee projects. I work with teams. I'm a meticulous person. I deliver projects. That is tax. That is what you do. No. Which result have you gotten? Even if you're a beginner, I keep referring back to the projects that you have done before, the projects that you're doing, that project that you did during your learning process. Find something in that project that is a win, that is a benefit, and put it as part of your executive summary. I have built project A, B, and C doing 1, 2, 3 for company 1, 2, 3. That is result-oriented professional summary. So your professional summary should be result-oriented. From there, the recruiter can start reading on. That's how you arrange your CV, result-oriented. Now, in your experience session, it should follow the same format. What have you achieved? For many of us, we arrange our CVs with responsibilities, what you are doing in that company. I attend to clients. I closed out 50 calls this week. That is tax. That is the thing that you do. That 50 clients that you closed out, what was the impact on the company? How did it enhance company image? How did it make money for the company? How did it save money for the company? That is outcome based. That's how to arrange your CV to get the attention of recruiters. Outcome based. Something should be central on your mind as you prepare your CV. In each of the companies, starting from your professional summary to each of the places that you have worked. One thing that should be on your mind is, how much did my tax make for the company? In a week, I attended to 10 customers as a customer specialist or as a customer service agent. I attended to 10 customers. Those 10 customers, what is the monetary term? How much did it save for the company? Quantify it in monetary terms. How did it boost the company image? That is how to think in terms of outcomes. So that you arrange your CV in outcome format, not responsibility format. That's how you build a CV that actually get the attention of recruiters. Now, that is a general format how to arrange your CV. Coming particularly to jobs, as you get ready to apply for these jobs, read the description of those jobs. Read the job descriptions. Don't just use one generic CV and apply to 50 jobs. No. That is a strategy based on luck. And sincerely, luck is not a good strategy. Spraying your CV everywhere and hoping that it gets the attention of recruiters. No, there is a better way to do it. As you get ready to apply for these jobs, read the description. Why do I say read the description? Do you know that many of the job applications that many of us send, a human eye doesn't actually see it. A machine screens them out. The ATS machine screens them out. Can you imagine? One role, 5,000 applications. 5,000 applications for one role. No recruiter will sit down and be going through 5,000 applications. It's just not feasible. Even if he decides to do it, for 2 weeks, he might not go through it. 5,000 applications. So all your CVs go through an ATS machine. What is the ATS scanning for? Keywords. There are keywords that the ATS is scanning for. The same keywords that are in the job description when you are reading that job application. Those keywords is what you should include on your CV. For instance, I'm a project manager, and as I'm reading the job description, I can see project management, I can see PMI, I can see data analytics. That is part of my job as I get the job. All of those keywords, project management, PMI, data analytics, you should take those keywords and make sure that they appear in your CV. As you are preparing your CV, make sure that as part of your experience section, project management appears there. I am a project manager in company A, B, and C. I got results, after you finish listing those results, ensure that somehow there's a project management as keyword there. There's PMI, there's data analytics, because when this machine will be scanning, what you'll be scanning for is those keywords. If the keywords don't appear on your CV is thrown out, even if you're qualified. See why many of your applications, you are not getting responses? Because you're just using one generic application for 50 jobs. No. So tailor your CV to match the job description of the job that you're applying for. That's very important. If you don't understand that, go back to my channel. There is a section, remote work. Get into that remote work. One of the videos there is how to tailor your CV to get past ATS. Very, very important. So that after you've done all of this, you don't get stuck in the level of application. You are spraying CVs. You're not getting replies. That's why many people don't get replies. They don't know what I'm telling you right now. Tailor you start getting more responses. Because first of all, that CV goes through the ATS and then into the hands of the recruiter who actually read your physical CV. That's when you actually get chance to be called for an interview. Number 2 is your positioning. Positioning is very, very important. Listen, this is what I mean. You are applying for these jobs. Remember, you are applying to a CEO who does not know who you are, who probably doesn't live in your country, who perhaps doesn't even live in your continent. For some of us, you don't live in Europe, you live in Africa. I'm in Africa right now. I'm working with clients in US, in Europe, in Canada, even in Australia. I'm talking to people in Australia. That's the other end of the world. They don't know you. You must have an online presence, especially on a professional platform like LinkedIn. These are little things that you should do to ensure that you attract opportunities more often. Have a professional presence. Ensure that your LinkedIn profile is optimized. Emphasis optimize. Have a clean professional photo, not where you are eating something or you are in a restaurant. No, have a clean professional photo. A shirt with your face, possibly you are smiling. That shows you are approachable. Professional photo, have a clean banner showing what you do. Your about session should also be outcome based. Your about session should be outcome based. Not I went to this university. No, that's not what your client wants to know. What they want to know is, what have you done before? As they are reading your about session, they should see a clear history of outcomes, achievements from one workplace to another. And then your work history. Don't leave it blank. Your skill section on LinkedIn should be relevant skills. Relevant skills. Emphasis on relevant skills. You are a data analyst or you are positioning for a data analyst job. And on your profile on LinkedIn, there is nothing like data analyst. Nothing like data analytics, nothing. You are rather talking about social media management, Canva. Those things are good, but they are not relevant to data management. So have relevant skills so that if a recruiter is searching, I need a data analyst with this skill, that skill, that skill. The search engine comes to your profile, data analytics is there, it scans for these skills, your profile shows up. That's how you show up in search results. Because you put keywords related to your remote work in your profile. So have an online presence. And please, let me say this as a warning. Because many of us don't know. Some of your social media handles, maybe TikTok or X, if you're doing something that is not professional enough in those social media handles, go and delete them. Go and delete them. Maybe you're cursing a country, or you're just saying something that is not nice. Go through your social media handles, do an audit, delete them. Because this is what actually happens. They don't tell you, but this is what happens. A company is discussing with you. Even before they contact you, they first of all check for your presence on LinkedIn. Does he have a LinkedIn page? They check for you on LinkedIn page. They can't see you anywhere. That's the end of it. That's why some of us are not getting responses. You are not on professional platforms like LinkedIn. You are going for a remote work and you don't have a LinkedIn profile. How? You are professionally non-existent. That's what it means. For a recruiter in Australia that is thinking about hiring you and goes to LinkedIn to type your name and he comes back with nothing, that's the end. He moves to the next person. Remember, there are so many people. That's how you stand out. He moves to the next person. Optimize your LinkedIn profile. I can't say this enough. Optimize your LinkedIn profile. Then go to your other social media handles and do a cleanup. If you're doing things there that shouldn't be done. I'll tell you this. If you're applying for some role, in fact, any role in the UK, for instance, in the UK government, do you know they go through your social media, not just on LinkedIn, all your social media handles, they go through it. If they see anything that they shouldn't see, that's the end of it. And so many companies do this. In fact, in the US alone, according to a research by Indeed, in the US alone, more than 65% of companies admitted that they first of all check LinkedIn profile of candidates before ever contacting them. Can you imagine? They are considering you for a role and they check your LinkedIn profile. You are non-existent, or your profile is not optimized. Your profile is just there. I see some profiles, no picture on LinkedIn, no professional picture, no banner. What are you doing? This is your career we are talking about. Put your best foot forward. You can do simple designs on Canva. If you can't do it, tell a friend. If you can't do it, pay. This is your career. Pay for it. Let someone do it, a good design for you. You are going to use it for years. Years. So invest. It's your career we're talking about. One remote work will pay for all of that. One will pay for all of that. So position yourself properly on professional platforms. That is very, very important. Very key. So as you are applying on different platforms, make sure that you have a professional presence, especially on LinkedIn. And one thing I want to talk about in applications also is, as I move down and begin to wrap this up, in applications is, don't just apply to any job. What most of us do is you just apply, just keep applying. One will enter. No. Be more strategic. Read the job descriptions. Ask yourself, this job, is it speaking to me? Is this me? Before I apply to any job, whether it's in Upwork or I read it. Is this me? Even what they want to achieve. Is this what I really want to work on? If the job does not speak to you, don't apply. If the job does not match your positioning, don't apply. Always, because application is effort. It's effort. First, you're going to tailor your CV. You go into your CV, you tailor your CV for that particular application. Instead of wasting time tailoring CV for an application that you are not fitted for, look for the ones that you're fit. Use that time and look for the ones that you're fitted for. That speaks to you. So don't stop spraying CVs everywhere. If you apply to 10 jobs, you are confident that those 10 jobs are actually meant for me. And you tailor your CV for those 10 jobs. You're going to get call-ups. You're going to get call-ups. And as you position properly on this social media platform, especially on LinkedIn, you're going to get interview call-ups. Also, you can get to my page. Some of my older videos talk about interview success, or browse generally on YouTube. Interview questions. Prepare properly, because that's another segment of it. Going for the interview, scaling the interview, and actually getting the job. Remember what I said. Be outcome focused. Be outcome focused. Both on your CV, on your profile, be outcome focused, outcome based. I can do the job. That is how you build trust quickly. That's how you build trust quickly. Now, as we begin to round off, these are some of the mistakes that I see many people making. If you have questions, please put it on the comment section. We are going to harvest it, and then we can answer it before we leave here tonight. Thank you, Johnson, for joining us from Nigeria. Thank you for being here. All right, so these are the common questions that many of us make. Because you're just starting out, you go for an interview. You've been called for an interview, but you go for an interview not prepared. What does preparation look like? This company or this person that is calling me for an interview, who is he? What do they do? What are some of their products? What do the company stand for? You can't be aspiring to work in a company and you don't even know what they stand for, because that might form part of the interview. What do they stand for? What are some of their major products? What are some of the challenges that they are facing right now? Those are things that you have to get prepared on through research, so that when you get there not shivering, but you're prepared to go through this interview and actually get the job. Another mistake is that many of us price ourselves too low. You price ourselves too low because perhaps for some of us, you are in a hurry to get the job. You are in a hurry to get the job. You're desperate. So you price yourself too low and they take advantage of you. Part of research is to find out what is the industry standard for this role that I'm going for. What's the industry standard? Is this $100 per hour? Is this $50 per hour? For a wholesome project, is it $500? I'll tell you what happened to me. I was bidding for a job as a soft skills trainer, a leadership soft skills trainer with a US company in 2023. We've gone through 2 stages of interview, and we're talking about salary. We're talking about remuneration based on contract. And I was just rambling. Because I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared that they are going to ask that question at that stage. Mistake, big mistake. But they did start talking about salary immediately. That means they are thinking about giving me a contract. I was just rambling. I finally said $150. $150. Anyway, the guy was gracious enough. He just laughed. And he said, well, we're going to pay you what we pay every other person. Our remote workers, this is what we pay them. We pay based on contract basis. You work 1 to 2 days based on the contract. Sometimes you train for 4 days. And we pay $1,500. $1,500. Can you imagine? $150. $1,500. Did you see the gap? I just said 10% of what they actually were willing to pay. 10%. Can you imagine? There are some people they will say, okay, $150 is okay, without knowing that this job is actually $1,500 for 1 week. So doing your research well helps you so that you don't ramble, you don't price yourself too low. Another mistake I see, because for many of us that are beginners, some of us, you wait to learn everything before you start. No. In fact, the real learning happens on the field. The real learning, you haven't learned anything until you start applying it. It's when you start applying it that challenges will begin to come out. You see, when you were in class, it was very sweet. The lecturer will be talking and everything was flowing. You think that's how it is. No, wait until question comes. So you actually start to learn when you start applying. That's why I said, as part of your learning process, when you're going through a course, build a prototype, build a project. Because in building a project, you're going to see challenges. While you still have the lecturer, while you still have your instructor there, you have the opportunity to ask, I experienced this challenge, I experienced this thing, I'm trying to build this prototype, but it's not working. You have counsel. You can get advice. So part of the mistake I see is that you want to master the tool before you... No. Once you've mastered the basis, start your application. You've mastered the basis. You build proof. You have something to show that you can do the work. Start applying. When you get the work, you know the basics. Any other thing that comes inside the work is part of the challenges. It's part of your learning process. You learn it on the job. Nobody comes to the job 100% ready. You only come maybe 50, 60, 70% ready. The rest you learn on the job. But the fact is that you can do the basics of that job. So stop waiting till you learn everything. You are delaying yourself. Once you've mastered the basics, you have proof. Go to the market. Start applying. And application is what I wanted to say, really. I want to frame it properly so that you can get it. Once you get this job, because I'm about to round off, I've passed the 1 hour mark. Once you get this job, your ultimate aim should be to build a business. Not just to get one remote job and then you do it and finish it and then you move to another remote. No, you are back in the market. You are applying again. You're sending CVs. No. Your aim should be to build a sustainable business from your remote work journey. So it's a career, but it's also a business. You've gotten this one client. Put in your best. Put your best foot forward. Do your excellent job. Do the job that they did not even pay you to do. As long as it will make your job excellent, do it. Why? I talked about retainership earlier. Nobody is going to retain you, or nobody is going to call you back when they have another job if you haven't done the one that they gave you excellently well. That's when you begin to build sustainable income in remote work. I just told you I've been working with a company since 2023, October 2023. That's close to 3 years now. By September this year, it will be 3 years. And this is a top training company in the US. I train C-suite executives on leadership and team building. You can't keep a job that long if you're not excellent in what you do. So your emphasis, even as you're learning, is excellence. How do I do this job so good that they remember my name once they see that job? That should be central on your mind. Because I see a lot of mediocrity in the industry. A lot of mediocrity. You're a remote worker. You are an Upwork. Yes, they've sent the money. They've sent $100 for you to do that CV revamp or for you to write another CV for them. Because they've sent the money, you just do anyhow work. You do a less excellent job. The formatting is not clean. You are shooting yourself on the foot because that's just one job. From this same person can come an opportunity of $5,000 tomorrow, but he can't remember you if you don't go above and beyond in that $100 job. That's how you build lasting income stream from your remote work. That's when it becomes a sustainable business. Do you know? There are some people I know right now, they reject jobs as remote workers. Some people are complaining, I can't get a job, this thing is so hard. Some people are rejecting jobs because their timetable is full, their calendar is full. They say, I can't meet up. Can you wait for the next 1 month? And you know what? Some clients are willing to wait just to make sure that this person does this job. That is excellence, and that is what you should be targeting. That should be your focus. That should be your emphasis. That should be your end goal in your remote work. Not just one job, but a series of retainerships to the point where you can comfortably work from anywhere in the world without thinking about money, without thinking about rent, because you are excellent at your job. And it will only come by continuous improvement in what you do. I would like to stop here because I've just passed the 1 hour mark by 10 minutes actually. I wanted to make this just an hour so that whatever is the feedback will determine if we can do this thing again, if we can do it again. Let me know what are some of the questions that you have. Thank you so much, Johnson. Thank you, George, for joining us. And thank you, Career Clinics. Thank you, Austin. I can see you. Thank you so much. If you have any question, I'll just give you the next 2-3 minutes. If you have any question, type it in the comments. Let's harvest it. This video will be on my channel. If there are things that you missed, go back and rewatch it. Get to the segments that you missed. Or I can see some people logging off and coming in. Maybe network in your area is bad. Get to segments that you missed and then rewatch it again. Step-by-step process. Audits. Do a character audit, do a skills audit, do an experience audit. And then make a decision which of the remote jobs best fits me as a person, that I can excel based on my character, based on my skills, based on my experience. Once you've made that decision, do another skills audit. What do I need to actually start? And then get to learn the skills. As you're learning the skills, build proof. Once you've built enough proof, start applying. While you're applying, position on social media, have an online presence. Be active, especially on LinkedIn. Be active, comment on posts, especially posts of recruiters. Comment on their posts. And then from there, continue to apply until you get that job. And when you get the job, don't do it anyhow. It's once in a lifetime opportunity. Treat it, give it your best shot, because the end goal is to retain this customer, retain this client. That anytime he thinks about social media management, he thinks about Johnson. Anytime he thinks about data management, he thinks about George. That should be your aim. That's when you begin to create a continuous stream of income, that you don't run out of jobs in your remote work. Let me know which part of this video resonated with you deeply. I personally read all of your comments and I'll be harvesting them and interacting with you behind the scenes. I can't see any question here. Okay, I can't see any question at the moment. All right. Clinton from Career Clinics. Okay, Clinton from Career Clinics. How do I build proof? Oh, Clinton, we've talked about building proof. We talked about building proof, especially as a beginner. Go back to Go back to some segments of the video, especially the earlier segment where I talked about building proof. You can build proof by documenting your process while you're learning the skills. The projects that you build, you can build proof from that. Don't throw away those projects. They are proof that I can do this job. When you are learning, volunteer to work as an intern. Reach out to startup founders. I want to offer my services to you for free in exchange for testimonial. You work for 1 or 2 months or 3 months for them. I have an intern working with me now for the past 4 or 5 months. An intern, and she's doing an excellent job. Past 4 or 5 months. So volunteer to work for free. You are getting experience. You are building proof. That's how you build proof as a beginner. And once you have that proof, you can use it and start applying. Thank you so much. I would like to call it a day here and call it a wrap. My daughter is disturbing me. This is weekend. I'm supposed to be with her. So thank you so much for attending. Go back to the video. Let your friends know. Go back to my channel. The video will be there under remote work, the playlist remote work. Get to the segments that you missed. Rewatch it again. And I want to hear your testimonies. From this live event, I want to hear that you've gotten that remote work that you are actually looking for based on application of some of the things that we have shared. That's when I knew that's when I will know that this event was not a waste. When I start seeing results from you, and I know that you can do it. All right. Thank you so much for being with us. This is where we call it a day. Let's interact further in our social media handles and on our YouTube page. If you want guidance, if you want one-on-one guidance, get to the description of this video. There is a link where you can book for one-on-one calls with me, where I guide you step by step how to navigate your social media, your remote work, as someone who has done it and who is also still doing it. So this is not something that I read in a book. This is something I do on a daily basis. So as I guide you through these processes, get to that link right now, book a call, and then my team will put you through. We'll get first of all where you are at the moment right now and where you need to be and how to close those gaps quickly and help you to get those remote jobs as quickly as possible. Thank you so much, and thank you for making our time to be with me today. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.